Hey, this is Tony. I was just over at my Style Prophet Instagram and I realized I was supposed to be here with you. I hope I didn't keep you waiting too long. I'm Tony, the founder of Hammitt, Los Angeles, and I'm about to be joined by Dr. Majestic. She's a big personality. She's a medical professional. She's out there on the front lines. And in lots of her spare time, I think she's raising a puppy, married to an amazing man, and also doing self-care topics all the time on her own Instagram. And I'm really excited for her to join me, so let's bring her on in. Here she comes. It's amazing. Like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
Hello.
Dr. M, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm really, really good. Good to see you again.
Oh, good to see you too. Are you safe and healthy?
You know what? Yeah, it's pretty easy to stay healthy at home unless you drink as much red wine as you do every other day.
It's good for the soul. Everything in moderation.
You know what? You got to have fun. The last time I saw you, we were at our store. There was no coronavirus. We were celebrating really close together. People were like touching each other.
I know.
What a difference.
I know. It's crazy. I can't believe this is happening, honestly.
You know, there's going to be a lot of silver linings from this, and I'm trying to find them like you every day. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I think so. I think so too. It's good to stay positive.
Absolutely. I just noticed on your Instagram, you were wearing awesome humans today on your shirt.
Yes.
And that's the main email on Hammitt when we talk to everybody. We call them awesome humans. That's how we communicate.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, that's so funny. I love that phrase because it's, it's so positive and it just makes you think like we're all awesome humans. We can all be awesome humans together.
Yeah. So I saw that. I looked at all the tips you gave for being an awesome human during this coronavirus. And I'm like, perfect set.
Yes.
I'm getting a little bit of feedback. How's it sound on your end?
It sounds okay. I am, the internet.
We can mess with technical difficulties. It's like sort of, this, that. We can fix it.
I know. Can you hear me okay, though?
Yeah. Maybe take your volume down, and I'll take mine down. Let's try this. Hey, everybody, hold.
Okay.
Let's see. How's that?
It's good for me. Is it better? Does it sound better?
That's better.
Perfect.
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I'm pretty loud anyway, so let's face it.
I know. I feel like we all have to just manage as best as we can with all the technical stuff right now because I feel like everybody's on live stream and the internet and it's like it's hitting us hard. So there's a lot of like glitches and whatever.
You feel like you're back in med school, but it's called tech school?
I mean, I guess so. When I was in med school, believe it or not, we didn't have social media, so it was a while ago.
Yeah, no, it's a whole nother world. I mean, you got to be a technologist plus a lot of other things now in order to be, I'm sure, a new student in the medical profession.
That's true.
So for everybody on Hammitt that doesn't know who you are, Dr. Majestic, could you give them a little background, maybe what you do every day, your profession?
Sure. So I am an emergency medicine physician. I am the person that you see if you break a bone, you have, pneumonia or any other little thing. I grew up in Michigan. I went to school at Ohio State, moved out to California, and I've been here for, 6 years now. So I live in Orange County and I work at a community department here.
Fantastic. Well, that was pretty good. And you forgot to mention you also are, I think, raising a young puppy, fairly newlywed. By the way, I'm from Ohio, so if you remember the Buckeyes, go Buckeyes!
OH, for sure.
I-O!
Yeah, no, my dog's not a puppy anymore, but she sure acts like one. She's 3.
Looks like a puppy.
She behaves like one, too.
I love everyone. You got to see her Frenchies if you haven't checked it out. Woo!
She's so cute.
So are you a 12-hour shift ER doctor? Is that how it still goes?
We actually see patients for 8 hours,
8
but
hours?
we're there for about 10. Yeah.
About
12
10
was
hours.
like, that was in residency. I can't do that anymore. It's too hard.
That changed? Pretty good. I have some friends. Well, there's a couple of questions my team and, some of our fans asked me to ask you. The first one really important is, how are you keeping all of your team yourself and especially your patients calm during this time?
I feel like this is just something that you have to become good at if you're an ER doctor. So we practice that all the time. If I'm calm, they're calm. So in the emergency department, we learn over the years that you really can't look too far to the future. It's like the next two steps. Like, how are you going to get someone out of, whatever you're treating them for? So we really like to focus on the next couple of minutes as opposed to the next couple of days or weeks. And little by little, take it day by day, minute by minute. And the emergency department is really our motto. And I try and tell, patients that, especially if they're getting a diagnosis that's, not ideal, or they have a lot of questions, take it day by day. And that kind of helps people be a little bit calmer. If you can focus just on those few minutes in front of you as opposed to all the what ifs.
And how would you apply that to maybe somebody watching from home that's maybe they're not so calm right now?
Yeah, I think it's normal to not be calm because things are changing so frequently. And again, that's kind of how it is in our jobs on a regular basis. Things can change at the drop of a hat. So I would say, to all of you that you should really try and limit how much time you're spending kind of in that mode. So I'm all about education. I'm all about, learning what you should be doing with the information that they're giving us. But take some time for you and, continue to really focus on what makes you happy. And if that's something as little as, making a really good dinner or having a glass of red wine, like you said, like if you focus on those little things in the minute by minute of your day, I think that can really help just kind of trick your mind into thinking more positive things.
So my takeaway is to turn off that TV for a while and maybe the mobile phone and half an hour of yoga, anything.
Yes, most definitely. I think that's great.
And I'm also like you, I'm a big believer in finding the news I want to find versus letting the news find me. So
I think that's a really good idea.
You said something earlier, things are changing so fast, quit focusing on those changes in just 1 minute at a time, take care of yourself. Yes. So I think that's pretty good advice. So
thank you.
Thank you. How can people at home help you? I mean, you and other frontliners, what can they do to maybe either ease the burden or just support?
I think the biggest thing that all of you watching can do is to stay home. And I know that sounds maybe like it's beating a dead horse because you've heard it for weeks now, but it's really important that you stay home, educate yourself on what is an emergency. And that's when you go to the emergency department. So our healthcare here has been crazy for a while, in my opinion, in America. So the emergency department has become, a place where a lot of people go because they don't have medical care otherwise. Sure. And now is not the time. Now is not the time to go to the emergency department or, to your doctor's offices without having a conversation with them via phone. Or just learning kind of what is the reason that you should go there. So this is great. It's putting education and knowledge into the hands of the people, which I think will be really good for us in the future. So you're doing your best by staying home and only coming in to see us when you really need to. Great.
I think I can do that. That's because
I think you can too.
I'm scared to the bejesus of any hospital. That's fairly typical of a lot of people I know. So the last place I want to go without coronavirus is an ER room. So.
Yes, that is the right mindset. It's true.
You've done an incredible job on your Instagram, in your feed about, I think modeling the behavior of self-care seems to be a secondary theme for you besides being an ER doctor and all the other things. Top tips, what do you got?
Earlier it has to be.
What's that?
I was going to say it has to be in the forefront of your mind, especially if you're in, a demanding job, which many of us are. That's America. So I think that finding the quiet moments is really important. So you don't always have to fill your time with technology. That includes like TV, your phone, random Instagram, rabbit holes. I think that it's really important to remember, I know, to remember the quiet moments are really important, and you should turn, internally and ask yourself, someone told me this once, ask yourself, what am I feeling and what am I needing? And that really brings up a lot of internal dialogue for me on a daily basis, because the answer to those questions typically changes. So if you maybe talk to yourself a little bit more rather than looking for answers in other places.
You're talking to a guy that can talk a lot, let alone talk to himself. If no one's going to listen to me, I'm still talking.
Exactly. But that's how we, the quiet moments are how we learn who we are, what we need, what we want. And then we can kind of set on the journey of how do we make those things happen. So meditation is, phenomenal. It's hard to do, but even just yoga classes, they implement meditation and fitness, and, it's a great place to start.
So your practice is yoga, meditation. Obviously, you're very self-aware, which is a crazy word if you think about it. I think you should just be aware, whether it be of yourself or of others. And you stay in great shape. I don't think you're lucky. That's a choice, and that takes a hard commitment. It's a lot of work.
Yes.
How about the people that aren't in that place right now? I just want to jump in. Don't beat yourself up, everybody. No matter where you are today, it's about one day at a time to get better. So where does someone start that all of that is foreign to them, but they're ready? This may be pushing them over the edge. They're seeking. They just want to do one thing different.
Again, I think it just starts with asking yourself, what is it that you want? Do you want more time to yourself? Okay, find 5 more minutes to yourself. Get up 5 minutes earlier.
There you go.
Do you
5
want,
minutes.
Yeah,
That's
5
a perfect
minutes.
take.
Easy.
Just do 5 minutes of something different.
That's a great start.
And that's how it takes. I think a lot of people I found, they greatly overestimate what they can change in this short period of time. And they so greatly underestimate how much we can change over the long haul with 5 minutes a day and then 10 minutes and things like that. So I think that's really great, doctor. Okay. Well, what would you tell people, especially me, who, I'm anxious, I'm worried, I'm freaking out, I'm not positive. No, that's not me. I'm just being anxious. A lot of people I talk to are, and by the way, that is me at different points in the last month.
Yeah. I think
you read something, you get anxious, and you get worried.
Of course.
What do you got? What should we do?
I think that accepting that it's normal to feel those things is the first step, but realizing that you have to give yourself a bit of a time limit to feel that way is the second part of that. And I think that part can be very hard for people, but I always tell my patients, I ask them, what is you worrying about? What this disease, what this illness, what this family situation is going to do to you? What does that do for you, right now?
Right.
So, kind of logically, maybe talking to someone about it could be a good start. A family member, a friend, a therapist. I'm a big believer in just talking.
My hair all fell out. I got
helps.
so much therapy, my mind just got rid of my hair. But it's healthy.
Well, mine's gray, so it's okay.
Just for men, baby. Just for men.
Yeah.
Although, how come it's twice as much as the woman's product? Okay.
I don't know. That's some marketing scheme right there. I don't know.
Those were some really simple tips. I like putting a time limit. Time limit on allowing yourself to go to that negative space, but still acknowledging that it's there. I think that's really important.
Yep.
I'm going to take
it's
that
normal.
one. It is. It's normal, right? Yeah. I consider myself a really positive person, but when I find myself not there, sometimes my mind says, it starts spinning that story. And the next thing you know, I feel even worse about it. How come I can't be that positive guy that I want to be? So, well, anything else you want to talk about? What do you want to know about me? Because really, it's still about me, doctor. You got the degree, you're saving lives out there. I get to stay home in Hermosa Beach.
Well, you're a Buckeye fan, obviously, because you're from Ohio.
OHIO.
Okay.
But I went to Bowling Green, so.
Okay. But what got you out? What got you into handbags and design and brought you to California?
I took that exactly straight route from MBA in finance at Bowling Green through the digital advertising, construction, roofing, residential finance and development, and then fashion.
Oh my gosh.
I was like 6 ER patients in a row that came through, and you had to fix me every time. So, and on the 6th time, they came out as a handbag, and I'm good.
I love it. I love it.
I'm a creative, and I denied it for a long time. I went for the money, I went for the financial, I went for the ego, and every time even though I was doing well, everything slipped away. I kept losing it.
Yeah.
And then finally I decided to go for what I love, my passion of art and architecture and design, and fashion fit. I saw some designs from Stephanie Hammitt here in the South Bay, fell in love with them. Some local people loved them. And I said, I can take these and we can do something. So next thing you know, I'm seeing you at our South Coast Plaza store. Shameless plug. It'll open up soon. And yeah, you're down there and we say hello and now we're talking. So I love fashion. I don't think it's very similar than ER. I mean, it's not too, the ER room for my friends that are doctors, it's like they come in and they move on and you do your job, right? You get them stable and they go, or unfortunately sometimes they don't make it. Okay, it's kind of that way with design. You bring in a collection.
Yes.
Some they die right away. Others you try to make it work, and others they just take off, and then you're on. I love that. So it's exciting. It's always changing, and then the industry's changing. It literally is a lot closer to the ER room than I ever would have thought and talked to. But it's also the whole hospital too. So we have triage, we got ICU.
Wow, that's so cool. I love that comparison.
It's very fulfilling. I can tell you, I love fashion. So
yeah,
and I know.
And I feel like it sounds like you realized that you could actually have everything that you were looking for. You just didn't really realize that you could in the thing that you loved.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I know it's sort of like, you're from Michigan. I'm from Cleveland. If you want to really get ahead, you can stay there and you can be the 1%er, or you can move to an area where you just need to be pretty good or great and you can really get ahead. Mm-hmm. So I came out here and I went for the money. I went for what I thought was important to me. And it did work out. But again, once I found the passion, I found the money, it would follow later. I'm still waiting for it to follow, by the way. Are you back there yet? Where are you? No, it's not behind me yet. Fashion's coming. Oh my God. Jenna wants to know, why is it important to fit these sorts of chats into your busy schedule? And she's asking me to. In other words, she's saying, how the heck does a doctor have time to have this and to also be doing everything else you do on your social? Why is it important?
Well, it's important because if you feel like you have more that you want to give or more that you want from the world, it's important to find what that is and to go get it. You make time for the things that you love. We all have more time in our day. We just sometimes don't realize it. And we're like, we don't have any time. But then when you really block it out, you notice you watched, 2 hours of Netflix, which is fine. I do that too. But you can really make time for the things that you love. And social media was one of those things for me. I see patients so quickly in the emergency department, and I love talking to people, but I don't get that time in the emergency department. That's not part of my job. And here is a little bit more. I get to educate, I get to inspire, and hopefully elevate people's lives while I'm doing all that.
Wow, that was awesome. Right. Were you chief resident? Were you like the top of your class back there? You were, weren't you?
I was a chief resident. I wasn't
you were. I could see this. You have it all. You got the personality. You went to a good school. Buckeyes so great. We love. And I could see you putting it all together. I got to tell you, if I was ever really, really hurting and trying to just survive life, I hope I end up at a table in the ER room with you. Says you'd at least put a smile on my seat, even if it was my last.
Exactly. We would have a little bit of fun while we were doing whatever we were doing.
Let's hope that's not for a while. Maybe when you're closer to my age and I'm closer to my mom's age, then maybe. Well, any last parting words or anything else? Because I think that was an amazing response.
Yeah, I just hope that all of you, continue to stay safe and healthy, and things are changing regularly. I try to get stuff out there as best as I can, but it's not always the thing that's going to be the same recommendation tomorrow. So you guys can certainly follow me if you would like to see some of that. And just remember that, living every day, like, you deserve to be happy too. So you don't
Oh, very, very good. Very good. Well, listen, it's been a gift to have you. I appreciate cutting out this slice of time. I'm all there for you. Thank you for being out there saving lives. And I'll see you on the other side of this. And hopefully we can rock a Hammitt handbag at the store together.
Yes, can't wait. Bye.
Bye.